Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we will do the first introduction of what will be my new part of the channel. That's Football Manager. I pre-ordered Football Manager 22, and that will be my 22nd version of the game. So imagine how long I'm already playing this game since the 2001 version when it was Championship Manager, and today is the start of my Football Manager 22. So we will do a lot of Let's Talks. We will do a total gameplay. So everything I do will be on stream, and we will talk about that today. First of all, I want to go with you guys to the new features on Football Manager 22. What will be new? And what am I excited about? I will give my opinion. We will watch some new features and explain them, and that's how we will do it. So let's see. We will go first. The best way to find all the new features on Football Manager is to go to the Twitter page of Miles Jacobson. He's the director of Football Manager, so he tweets about all the new stuff. First of all, the release date of Football Manager 22 is the 9th of November. That's in 3 weeks. We are now 19, so this week, next week, and then another week. Yeah, it's maybe 4 weeks almost. 3-4 weeks. 2 weeks before, you can get access to the beta if you pre-ordered, and I pre-ordered, so I will have access to the beta. So what will be the new features? He has a whole thread about it, so I will search it now. Show this thread. So we will go tweet by tweet and see if it's something I am excited about, something I'm not excited about. Let's see. So first of all, I want to say that the Football Manager Touch will not be available. I think mobile. It will be the version from the Xbox, but that we will come to later. I never played that, but I know a lot of people did. So we've added nearly 4,000 new team talk and team meeting strings into FM22. To be honest, that's something that they needed. One example here, because it was always the same. It's every time the same. So you have still your gesture that you can do. They changed the colors a bit, and then they have new sentences to say. I know how hard fought this rivalry is. Go out there and play for the fans. Okay, that's a new one. Good. I'm excited. I'm not especially excited about that, but it's something they had to improve. Then you now have the opportunity to speak to your team after a result, which could be useful if you want to keep or perhaps regain momentum after a run of games, or to criticize your players after a cup tie. So that's something that was already... No, team meeting, I don't know. I think it was already in the game. No, after match, I don't think. Okay, so now you can speak to your team after a game. I know it was before a game. After a game, I don't remember yet. I think it was in the press meeting. It all looks a bit the same. So now you can speak to your players after a game, cup tie, something like that. And now if you tell your team you expect to see them in training in the morning, your backroom will now book that session, and your players can't escape that anymore. So last year when you said will be a training next day, you had to plan it in. And now it will be automatically. I expect to see you all in training tomorrow. You don't deserve a rest after that performance. So that's a cool thing. If you leave a team talk without speaking to your players, not only will you receive a warning, but you will now have the option to hand over to your assistant. So before versions, you could skip the team talk and then go play the match, intended or non-intended. Sometimes that happened. Now you will get a warning if you forgot about it. We've also added some mental health information alongside your player's condition rating. So when you check up on your player's morale ahead of the next match, you can see a detailed breakdown on how they're feeling. Okay, where will that be? It looks like it's an overlay, so probably you will have to push it somewhere. Oh yeah, on the player itself, I think, if you keep your mouse here. So morale is okay, training, concerned with his training treatment, satisfied with your treatment of him. Okay, this is a cool thing. Club, satisfied with the situation at the club. Management, satisfied with your management. Playing time, satisfied with his playing time. Okay, that looks cool. Looks nice. Adding this one on here, as I mistakenly didn't put it in the thread earlier. Your backroom team now focus a lot more on the player's weak foot, offering you advice and updates as your player's other side progresses. The screen from already announced stuff meeting. Okay, that's something I always forgot to look at because I like to play with inside forwards. But yeah, they have to cross also sometimes. They cannot always come in and use their good foot if you put a right foot on the left side. So they also need to have their other foot. So now weaker foot training will be a good player if you spend more time on his weaker left foot. I think it's really worth it. So yeah, here you can see how their weak foot is, and they give a suggestion. Okay, looks good, and it was something I looked over a lot playing Football Manager. A new, cleaner way of visualizing your tactics, so you can analyze your team's system strengths and weaknesses instantly. Okay, that looks a bit the same like before, just they added some dots. We have to look into it, what it will be. Encouraging signs. Yeah, okay, we have to look into it. Let's see. We've added more options to autosave feature. Okay, that's something we will come to later also. You can now save your game in real time. Like before, it was only a week or 2 weeks in game, but like the transfer dates always take a lot of time. I can spend hours only on the transfer days. So it's good that they added that. But I had to be honest, my game crashes rarely. But I will put it on anyway. The comparison graph now reminds you to scout a player further in order to receive full analysis. A quality of life feature that adds further context for our players. For a more accurate graph, needs to be scouted further. Okay, but I always make sure if I want a player, I scout him a lot. So you will see that in my gameplays. Takes a lot of time. Dynamic rivalries is something I really love. That's a great feature. I don't know why that is not highlighted as the others, but this one is one that I'm most looking forward to. For example, if you play Manchester United, you have Manchester City as your rival, but let's say Watford becomes a really good team in Football Manager going on the years, and it's your rival for the title, then you will get new rivalry with, for example, Watford. That's something really amazing, something I'm looking forward to. At the end of every season, you see the top 5 signings in your division in one handy news item. We will come to that later too, but yeah, that's a good addition. It's an addition. It's not something I'm super excited about, but it's cool that it's there. We've cleaned up the layout of the welcome meeting pack to make the financial information easier to digest ahead of your new job. Okay, so what does it look like? What does he mean with that? We've cleaned up the layout of the welcome meeting pack. Okay. Okay, good. I don't see a lot of difference, but they cleaned it up. Nice, good. Okay. Information on current pending stadium changes are also now included in the welcome packs too, giving you greater context on day one. Due to the complete Craven Cottage capacity change works on... Okay, that's a good addition. So you know that your stadium is going to be renovated before you enter the job. Something a bit more technical, so no screenshot this time. We've optimized the skin that comes with the game. This means the game loads a bit faster, it's smoother to navigate, saves hard drive space and less to download, so it's kinder to the planet. Nice, who can be against that? I give it a like. We've improved the context to the string featured in team meetings when a manager takes over mid-season, so you can let your players know what you expect during the rest of the campaign. Context to the strings featured in team meetings when the manager takes over mid-season. Okay, if you take over mid-season, what happens often because you get fired and you need to start on a new team? There's not, I will read it here, there's not that long to go this season, but I'm confident we can go on and make the playoffs. There's not that long to go this season, but I'm confident we can finish mid-table. But I'm confident that we finish top half. Okay, good addition. One for the more technical-minded, frame rate locking is back. Okay, good. It depends on your PC, what you run there. Each rules page of a league now contains work permit information, an easy way of getting clued up before you dive into the transfer market. So work permit rules, okay, that's important if you start on an unknown competition, to know what can be there. The rule that you don't get any surprises. So I work permit rules, point system in the championship. I think that's the same. I don't think they changed a lot on with the Brexit. Just that Brexit rules, countries where clubs have to abide by squad registration rules will now use a 17 foreign player in squad limit. 17. Foreign players are already playing in the United Kingdom will only face these restrictions upon signing a new. Good. I'm not going to play in the UK, but it's good to know. We've altered the UI on the squad registration screen. A small but neat change to make it clear who's in and out of the squad. Yeah, that's good, but is it? Yeah, it's clear to see what was good before. I had no problems with that, but it's good. These changes are good, are minimal, but good, nice. So let's see where we are now. When you're on the receiving end of a touchline ban, you'll get called into the boardroom to discuss things in a new boardroom interaction. So you can get a ban in Football Manager, just like in real life. As you can see here, Guildless Manager has been one match touchline ban. You can get that. If you have it now, you will get called into the boardroom. Dynamic youth ratings. This is something very important. A huge change for long-term saves, as the quality of youth players coming through different nations will now change depending on that nation standing in the world of football. So before you had some countries that were known, if you go get a player there, it will be more chance of a good player than in other countries. For example, the strange thing was Uzbekistan players were really good. Sometimes you could find a real good player in Uzbekistan, while in Sweden, for example, as you will see later in the video, in Sweden there was a low youth rating. Now that will be changed depending on how the country does and how the teams develop. Appropriate to announce whilst I'm on my way to a match. When you're given a pre-match day preview by your staff, you'll be told which game you should keep a close eye on, featuring teams you've neck with in the table. So that's just an extra. When you are going to match day, there will be this guy saying, hey, watch out for this game. Let's keep our eyes on Adam Park where Wycombe go. Very small addition, but it's an addition and it's good. In leagues where squad numbers aren't assigned to players but just use shirts 1 to 11 each game, you now don't have to give them the squad numbers. Prevalent in Wales, Holland, some of Scotland and more. Okay. I think in lower leagues in Belgium it's also like that. Each class of fine counts of one of your 5 days, right? improved career paths for managers. So those in real life who have declared that they aren't interested in club jobs and only want to manage national teams and vice versa can now be supported. Okay, good, great. So I know managers that don't want to do clubs. I know managers that probably there are a lot of managers that don't want to do international football. That's good. When you're given a pre-match day preview by your staff, you'll be told which game. Yeah, that's already been seen. The media source code has been refactored, so now you'll see more appropriate media asking you questions both in and out of the press conference to further enhance the suspension of disbelief when you escape into a career game. Okay, good. I'll put it full screen. In a job interview as a manager starting their managerial career, you're now able to ask for support in getting coaches badges. Okay, some people are excited about that. I always tend to start with a bigger team, so maybe that's not really something for me, but I will also try offline probably to coach a smaller team, and let's see how that goes. See, my camera is not really in the middle, so let's try to do it a bit more like that. Perfect. There are actually lots of new interactions possible in job interviews, including being able to change staff budgets and lots of changes to how staff budgets work now, including change in Nugent staff movement, responsibilities, board requests, and lots more. That's something we will have to see, because interactions without a screenshot, you can only think about it. We've tweaked the staff responsibility screen to make it easier to understand and delegate. Okay, that was something that was really, really confusing. If you were not, if you are new to Football Manager, this screen probably is one of the hardest to get through. I will explain it a little bit. So you are the manager, but you can delegate stuff to your staff. Like, for example, my assistant manager takes care of the trainings of the youth teams. Then you can put that here. Or you want to do it yourself, you can change it to that you do it yourself. That's something I tend to change a lot of things to make it my own game, but every person does it different. But it was confusing, and maybe it still is. We've added the ability to get a suggested squad as a manager of a national youth team. So, as you have a youth on England under 21s, you can get a suggested squad. Okay, but that's something if you want to play fast, because I imagine if you choose to be the manager of a national youth team, that you do the job good, and that you try to find your good players by yourself. That's how I would play it, but everybody plays it differently. We've tweaked the potential ability tooltip on each player's profile to give all managers, particularly new, a better understanding of what it means. So this is new, but not really. But what is new is this, the C. Before it was from 1 to 100 rating. Now it's A, B, A plus, A minus. Base BC. It's good. It's easier. It's more real. That's what I want to say, because a player cannot be pointed out, oh, he's an 80 for our team, or he's a 60 for our team. On what is that based? He's an A grade. That means he's a very good one. He's a B grade. He's a C grade. And then some explanation with that looks better to me. Okay, in this day, he more the text, as we do every year. We've updated the rule across all leagues, but having also added a bunch of new rules and structures to lots of leagues, including, but no way limited to, France, MLS, A-League, China, Germany, Mexico, Peru, Scotland, and Belgium. To be honest, I'm originally from Belgium, and the league there is so confusing that I don't know. They change the league every year in Belgium. So, yeah, they've changed the rules. Please note, re-rule groups. That's all I'm going to say about it. You'll find out the rest for yourself when the game is out. Okay, looking forward to that. So please don't be offended if I don't respond or the doesn't. What about this rule tweet? I'm not a wedding DJ. I don't do requests. So yeah, I guess you can guess. Maybe they change the rules. Maybe, never know. Meanwhile, you're some years in. We've also updated VAR rules to keep up with real life, including the different ways it works in England's oldest cup competition, for example. Okay, good. Little thing, but one that really shows the attention to detail we have to do in our games. FM22 has new animation cutscenes for inter-squad friendlies, with players warming up more casually and getting advice as a group. So before season or in season, when you want to play against your youth team, you will get this new feature. Looks good. One of the driving points of FM is that you can escape into a different world, and that's why attention to detail and suspension of disbelief are so important to what we do. Anything that breaks immersion takes you out of that world. That's very true, what he says there. Football Manager is a second life. And for me, it really is. It's like you go into that game and you're into it. You are the manager of that team. It's not like in FIFA where you play 2-3 games and you win or you lose, depending on how good you are. Football Manager is, you can be good at it and still lose a lot. So yeah, it's more simulation. It's a simulation game. So we got all the tweets of Mal Jacobson. Then I want to go now to a guy who have already played Football Manager 22. And I want to react to his top 10 new features. We've went to a lot of them already. This guy has some more that he added or some that he didn't attend in his top 10. I tend to agree with a lot of them, but also have some different opinions on some. This guy's worked the space. His channel is linked in my description. We will go through it fast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Football Manager 2022 is very almost upon us, and ahead of its release.
So I will skip a little bit. So first thing that he chooses is something that he really likes and what I also like. Before in Football Manager 21, you had the VAR. The VAR that when it's challenged, then it almost every time you lose it. You lose the VAR decision. So if a goal is offside, VAR needs to watch if it's offside or not. It's always offside because the goal will be always cancelled. This year,
the referee to run to the screen. Well, I'm pleased to report
they changed that.
VAR is just better. And it's not something that they're going to sing and dance about over at Sports Interactive. But if you're sick of watching a referee always run over to a screen, if you're sick of only seeing goals be ruled out for offside when it goes to VAR, you are in luck. This year in FM22, it is much improved. I've seen way more variety in the outcomes, a little bit more suspense. Still don't really know if I like VAR in football, but the good news is, at least in FM, it is that little bit more engaging this year.
So VAR is improved. Something I would put a little bit higher. He also says Sports Interactive will not tweet about it because, yeah, can imagine they're maybe not always that proud of what happened before with the VR. Doesn't matter. They improved it. It works now. It's good. It's clear. It's more exciting. Will it be penalty? Will it don't be a penalty? Won't it be a penalty? Yeah, before you knew it will be a penalty. Now it depends. So let's see what he puts on number 9.
Yeah. Now, if you're anything like me, you might be a little bit competitive. I can definitely be competitive. I want to the year every year. Well, there's something new to strive for in Football Manager because at the end of the league.
Okay, this is the feature we saw before that he points out, where you will see the best transfers that you did in the season. To be honest, it's nothing that I'm very excited about. So let's just take a look at the screen. So Skybet's Champions League signings of the season. It's not something I'm excited about. It's not something that will change my gameplay. But he's excited about it. He wants to have the whole team, his whole transfers listed in there. That's a very good one, very good point. Let's go to number 8.
Probably could be a little bit higher, and I'm sure for some of you guys, if you're aware of this, it will be a little bit higher. Stamina has been
Great point. I will let him talk, and then I will add my vision about it. It's one of the points I would put higher, as he said. It's something that I'm really looking forward to. So I will let him talk.
Completely overhauled in FM22 in terms of how it works in the match engine. If you play a Gegenpress through the entire game, your players are obviously going to get more tired more quickly. And when players get fatigued in FM22, mistakes...
Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. It's my fault. So let's go back. Where we were. So stamina. He was talking about stamina. Let's change back to here.
Of how it works in the match engine. If you play a Gegenpress through the entire game, your players are obviously going to get more tired more quickly. And when players get fatigued in FM22, mistakes will creep in. Loose first touches, mistimed passes, poor decision making. Heck, players will start to slow down a little bit more. In FM21, players play 100 miles an hour at all times. They will constantly press. There's no need for a player to take a breather. In my brief time of FM22, I started to notice players not always pressing the ball. They would work in sprints, much like in real football. Teams can't just press all the time. There are times where players need to collect their breath. And if in FM22, you definitely see that a lot more. Players conserving themselves. As I said, the reason this isn't higher is just because it's hard to quantify, see exactly how it's working at the moment. But if it works the way Sports Interactive seem to want it to work, it could be pretty huge for increasing tactical variety. Suddenly, the option of playing slowly.
So the thing was that Gegenpress was overpowered. Pressing high was overpowered. Your players could run the whole game. They pressed the whole game. They got tired, but they pressed the whole time. And now they changed the stamina, so your players will get tired. They will stop pressing. The passing will be different. They will make some mistakes. First touch mistakes, passing mistakes. It's something that happens in real life, and it's really amazing that they add that. That they have added that, and it's something that I'm looking forward to. It's a great new thing they did. I'm excited about that. So let's see number 7.
In at number 7 is an addition that when I saw announced, I rolled my eyes at it a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I was very kind of, staff meetings? Really? A feature? Headline feature? Well, let me tell you now. If you're someone like me in FM21 who ignores the little circles, staff advice on every single player profile page, I feel like this edition makes it a bit more palatable. It makes it a little bit more digestible. It basically means that all that advice that was scattered across all different pages is collected in one singular place.
Okay, I'm excited about this one. I'm not really. The stuff, as he said, it was everywhere. It was something you look over to. Something you skip because you know it better. You're the manager. Hey Unitrix, but now they'll put it on one screen. Hi Unitrix, how are you doing, man? Talking about the new Football Manager that's coming out very soon. Some new features. I'm going over them. This guy played the game. He had made the top 10. So let's see which ones I like, which ones I agree with. Staff meetings is something that we will have to wait for if it will be good or not. Let's see what he puts on number 6, I think.
Really nice. Also worth noting, in FM21, you couldn't train players' weaker feet for whatever reason. That is back in FM22, which is a really, really nice thing. And when you go into staff...
We've seen this in the tweets from Miles Jacobson. You can train the weak foot again. That's a good thing.
For me, someone who likes to think I don't need to listen to my backroom staff, I can see myself using this throughout the year.
Number 6, let's see.
Okay, this next one is quick, but auto savings really good now. What do I mean? Auto savings really...
Okay, auto savings, we also talked about that before. Before you could only save 2 weeks in game, 3 weeks in game, 1 month in game. Now it will be in real time feature. So let's go to number 5. We've seen this one. Okay, number 5.
Up next, we have the changes to deadline day. When I saw this announced, I will level with you. I thought to myself, I don't leave my transfers to the last minute. I get my transfers.
Oh, a little bit of Destiny 2. Oh, good idea, Untrix. I planned this afternoon some Battlefield 1. I played that a little bit yesterday, and I'm going to stream a little bit of Battlefield 1 this afternoon. So that will be cool. I hope you enjoy your Destiny. Not really into Destiny anymore because I wasn't really into it, but I don't have time for that. It takes a lot of time, and that's something I really admire about people who are good in Destiny. So let's see.
Done the
Next
previous
point.
summer. Like, I'm planning that far ahead. If you're leaving things to deadline day, something's gone very, very wrong. But that's different this year. And look, the deadline day feature itself, it's a new skin, everything goes yellow and dramatic, but there's some really useful additions with this. It allows you to track transfers in your own league, it allows you to see all your players' contracts expiring in one place.
So to be honest, this is not really super new. It's got a revamp, but this was already in the years before, and it was maybe not that clean. It was maybe not that detailed. You get some agent offers. Okay, we will have to see. But deadline day is a super important day on Football Manager, so I'm looking forward if that's improved and that you can actually make transfers on deadline day, because that was a bit of a problem. That sometimes your transfer didn't go through, or it was a gamble. The last year's transfer deadline day. Because you never know if you would get the player, and if it's such an important day, then I want to know for sure. If I go on deadline day and I try to get a player that I really want, that I get him. So it's hopefully they made it better. Number 4.
Okay, so this next one, it's not going to appeal to everyone, but to me, this is one of the biggest changes in Football Manager this year. I've wanted this for over 10 years. Dynamic youth ratings. What does that mean? Well, let's have a look in FM21. If you look at a national team, every nation has a youth rating. This is essentially a number between 1 and 200, which determines how good the players are that they produce when you get to the era of new gens. Now, why is dynamic?
So we talked about that also before. Miles Jacobson tweeted about this. Your country will get dynamic ratings, youth ratings. Before it was stuck, and strangely, Uzbekistan had a very high number, or Belgium has a high number. So you knew, in these countries I can find good youth players. In Sweden, for example, I cannot find good youth players. In Finland. So now it will be dynamic, so you cannot go scouting anymore in Syria to find a new Messi, because Syria was providing good youth players. So this is a cool thing. Really looking forward to that. It's nice that they added that, and it was necessary. So number 3.
So it's been a few years since we had new player roles in Football Manager, but in FM22, the wide centre-back makes his debut. I don't know what else I need to say about this. Should we have a look at some gameplay of wide centre-backs? Because I had a little bit of a play with it. I had Jack O'Connell playing for Sheffield United. The wide centre-back is essentially a wide centre-back in a back three when you're playing with 3 centre-backs who will look to get forward.
So just to little bit add here, because I will keep it going and you will see the guy playing. So O'Connell is his wide centre-back. He plays 3 in defense, and O'Connell is here. I don't tend to see that in real life. It's something that's a little bit strange to me, because I never saw it before. So maybe I don't watch teams that play with wide center backs in that role, but I never saw it. And as what I fear is that as every year with new roles, player roles, if they add a new player role, that in the beginning it will be overpowered. And you will see in the next clips, now he's playing 2D, but he will also change to 3D, that this guy gives assists. So will it be overpowered? We will have to see, because the thing was, the first time they added, I don't know what role it was, but they added a role and the other team couldn't defend that role. So will they be able to defend O'Connell, or will they just ignore him the whole time and that he's always free? That's something I'm scared of. That's something I will have to take a look at. They will patch it later, but in the beginning, will they defend on him? Is it an overpowered new role in the beginning? And if you know what team uses this wide center back role, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat, because I never saw a team playing with this role. We will let it now play so you guys can see where he runs.
Can be played on defense, support, or attack, and really can, I think, open up some interesting avenues of tactical decision making. In these examples, you can see what I'm able to do with Jack O'Connell. The positions he takes up just wasn't possible in previous Football Managers, and I think.
Look where he runs. This is a center back. So I never seen this in my whole life, in real life, a center back running here. Your team has the ball here. Yeah, that's like 5 meters from the midline. And your center back is running left forward. Never seen that in my life.
Anything that enables you to be more creative with your tactics, perhaps go in with new tactical approaches, can only be a good thing for the game.
And he gives the assist for the goal.
A really, really good role this year. I had a lot of success with it, trying it out. And
so he has a lot of success. So it looks it will be overpowered. So cross more often, cross from byline, dribble more, stay wider. The main job of the wide center back is to stop the opposing attackers from playing and to clear the ball from danger when required. However, unlike standard central defenders, the wide center back is encouraged to stay wide in possession and support the midfield more like a fullback. With an attacking duty, the wide center back is willing to make regular overlapping and underlapping runs to create 2v1 situations, and also has a higher tendency to dribble with the ball. I will try it out. I don't see how it's implemented in a good tactic unless it's overpowered, as I say. But this guy seems to have 5 stars, so maybe 4 stars in the role. So maybe in real life, this team plays with that role. Sheffield, maybe O'Connell is a real wide center back. I never seen Sheffield play, so I cannot say that. So we will have to see. 2v1 situations, that's something that raises some questions, because as I said before, will the other team defend on that role? Will they have somebody who picks him up when he goes forward, or will he just be alone the whole time?
I'm sure many of you, like me, are looking forward to giving it a go once the full game comes out.
Number 2.
Okay, so the penultimate feature on this list is the overhaul to scouting and transfers. And you might be thinking, an overhaul to scouting and transfers? There's not been an overhaul to scouting and transfers, Jack. What are you talking about? Look, you're kind of right. They've not talked about this much, Sports Interactive, but for me, this is pretty big. So it's there's 2 components to this. First and foremost, there are now transfer price ranges. It's a bit unrealistic for players to just have a singular value, right? In terms of, this player's worth 70 million. This player's worth 12,000. Like, that's not how football works. Price ranges are a thing. The market is not definitive. Very often, the value of a player is determined by his value to the team that he's playing at. And Football Manager has pivoted in that. And I think it's really going to change how you try and...
I totally agree with him on that. It's something that's really good. So the transfer prices, that is not something that's really strict. Oh, it's not here. It's on the player itself. But and the ratings that we saw before in the tweets, the A+, not from 1 to 100. These are the ratings that you will get: A+, A minus, B+, B minus, D, E, F. So and then you can filter on that, depending on what your scouts do. Yeah, great extra point. Great extra points for Football Manager there.
To agents. So, for example, in this clip you're seeing in front of you now, Emre Can, I'm looking to sign for Bayern Munich, and I want to sign him. So I look at his transfer ranges and I think they're interesting. I wonder if he's worth anything less. And I can go and ask the agent, and the agent will come back and say, hey.
Let's go back and look at that, what was there, because it went a bit fast. So he goes to the agent, ask agent about availability. What can I do for you? Is the agent. You can say, I'm very interested in signing him. We're keen on signing him. Demands, we would ask about the demands. We're looking at a few players right now, but we're keen to know if Emre Can is interested in joining us and what both the player and the club might demand. Just curious, Emre Can has come up on our radar and we're wondering if he might be available, would have any interest in joining our club. I have to say, great addition, great thing to do. This is something I'm looking forward. Preferred route right. What's here? Strong defensive midfielder. Okay, here you can see some scouting details.
I look at his transfer ranges and I think they're
And then he goes to the next one, and there he says, I'm slightly disappointed to hear you're only curious about signing Emre, as he's extremely interested in a move to FC Bayern. As you're not exactly excited about the idea of doing a deal. I'm not going to reveal many of our demands at this stage. Oh, nice. So he's a little bit put off because he's only curious. So he would be happy to remain with the nation he currently resides by playing for FC Bayern. With the nation he currently resides by playing for FC Bayern. Okay. Would want a wage of between, I don't know if you guys, it's so small. Let's put it on full screen. Okay, this is better. I would want a wage of between 105k per week and 155. I believe Borussia Dortmund will want somewhere between 29 and 50 million to make a deal possible. They have a strong financial position, so they're not feeling pressed to sell him. And then you can answer that.
interesting. I wonder if he's worth anything less. And I can go and ask the agent, and the agent will come back and say, hey, this is what we think the player's worth. This is what they think Dortmund are going to want for him. And as a result, it's a lot more dynamic. It's a lot less matter of fact. There's going to be more of a bargain hunt element, I feel like, to how transfers work this year. These changes to how you scout and sign players are going to be pretty massive in terms of transfer ranges, in terms of report cards. It's also worth noting on scout reports, there's a few new things that will be shown if a player is in the middle of their domestic season at the club they play for. The game will say.
Let's see at this again. So the agent, here's agent feedback. It is believed that Rodriguez's preferred choice of move could well be Borussia Mönchengladbach. Brian Rodriguez might consider joining FC Bayern. He would look forward to play in the Bundesliga for FC Bayern. Will expect to be considered a breakthrough prospect in order to realize his potential. Would want a wage of between, I believe, LAFC wants somewhere between this. The price range, it's very big. It's 550k or 8.6 million, between that. A lot of potential. Will give player big pay rise.
Hey, their club probably aren't going to want to sell their man midway through the season. I just feel like all these little changes are going to alter stuff. No longer are you going to be able to just sort all the 16-year-olds in the world by value and hope that the players towards the top are the better players. Scouting's going to become more important.
Cool.
The scouts you have are going to be more important. And I think
very more realistic than before.
You're paying for players,
a lot more
more
realistic.
And I think in turn it's going to make the game perhaps a little bit more hard. I feel like in FM22 it's going to be, I guess, easier to make mistakes in the transfer market, and that is an exciting thing. It
happens in real life as well.
Alleviate the situation where you go and try and sign a youngster and then the other team come back and go, we want 120 million. Because this year, if a player isn't available for sale, the club will just say, hey, there is not a price that we're willing to sell this player for. All in all, small changes, I will admit, but I think they're going to make a big difference to how you play Football Manager. That's always really exciting to me.
On to his number one.
And finally, in at number one, we have the Data Hub. Now, my word, I'm not skeptical of this, but I kind of looked at it and thought, a lot of this stuff's already in the game. But I have to admit, I've not really used my analysts very much in FM20.
So, this one I saw yesterday, the Data Hub. I'm amazed that Miles Jacobson didn't put a tweet about it, because it's like the only one big addition they did. As you can see here on the left, it will be on tab. You have data analysts in Football Manager. Before, they didn't do really a lot. You could have, I used them sometimes, but it's not that they were so important. In FM22, they will be very important. So let's take a look at the screens that he gives. It will be a little confusing. I watched it yesterday slowly, and it's really something that I think you will have to see when you're playing it, which stats are important for you and not copying somebody else his layout. So let's see what he did here.
And any previous Football Manager. I don't know about any of you guys. I feel like the analytics side of the game, it just never really felt that important. This year, it's in your face and it's more accessible than ever. So in terms of the data hub, you can look at your own team's performance.
You see here what he has put.
Loads of
I think you
graphs.
can change every
amount of graphs I've ever seen. I feel like I'm a business student
stat here
when I go to my team page and I have it all neatly organized with the offensive stats, the defensive stats, the most recent game and possession.
Yeah, so you can change it all, finish editing, drag items with the handle to rearrange, or click the remove icon to remove items. So that will be something, will be personal. But take a lot of time to set up, but I think it will be something that can be a great addition if you use it. Also, people will look over it, will just play their game, but yeah, it's used in real life as well. So
everywhere. It's so satisfying to sort out. I mean, when you get your hands on it, you'll understand. Additionally, you can have your analysts collect data on your own specific players and compare them against other players in the league. In previous years in Football Manager, if I had two similar players, I would often just compare their attributes. This year now becomes a little bit more easy to compare two players and their statistics. And at the end of the day, they are going to drive decision-making more and more. And I think that's a really cool thing. On top of that, I'm someone who's guilty of sometimes trying to play through Football Manager quickly. It's, I guess, what I have to do when I'm playing it on YouTube and streaming and doing daily videos. But at the same time, I kind of, when I really want to get into the game, I will have a look at opposition stats and stuff, but it just always felt so inaccessible. This year in the Data Hub, the opposition tab is a game changer. It's over on the right-hand side. It's tucked away a little bit, but if you go over to it, it really just condenses all the information that was spread across a lot of screens buried deep within Football Manager in a singular place. It also adds in some new information there, but I think this is really going to alter the way I play Football Manager. In having that data at my fingertips, I'm way more likely to use it to drive decision-making. If there's a specific weakness an opposition team have, if they're letting the ball enter the final third on a specific wing, I might now look to focus on that wing more. And whilst, of course, I could have done that last year, I think we're all guilty of being a little bit lazy when we play Football Manager. And I feel like in bringing this stuff to the forefront, in putting it in a place where it's very difficult to ignore, it can only really be a really great thing for the game. And for that reason, I think the Data Hub is the feature I'm most excited about this year. It has some massive new additions. It has loads of quality of life stuff. It's so customizable and so flexible. And
yeah, it's something that as he said, is overlooked a lot, but it's something that's really useful, will be really useful. So I'm looking forward to use that Data Hub. So that were the new features in Football Manager 22. Probably there will be here and there some small ones that we will find out when we have the game. But I'm looking forward to it. Now, hey Lee, nice to see you, man. So this is the 22nd anniversary of my Football Manager career. It will be the 22nd version of the game I will play. We just looked at some new features. Soon, when I have hands on the game, it probably will be next week somewhere. We will start a series about it, but we will have to decide which team we will go to. I chose two teams that I will take a look at. First one is Valencia. Two reasons. It's close to where I live in Spain. Villarreal is actually closer, but Villarreal does very good in real life, so let them do their thing. But Valencia is doing worse. They have financial problems. Their best players are leaving, some for free. It's not going good at Valencia at the moment. They have an amazing stadium. They're already building a new stadium for, I think, 10 years, maybe longer. Let's see if their Wikipedia says something about it. Because they don't have money to to make the new Mestalla. New stadium. So here, the 2008-2009 season was to have been the last season at Mestalla, but they didn't move yet. However, due to the club being in a financial crisis, work on new stadium has since stopped. So Valencia is a very cool team to play with. I really love it. I will put some images from the good times. They have won European Cups. They have won titles in Spain. They had an amazing team. So Valencia is number one on my list to play Football Manager with. What's holding me back is a bit I don't know if Spain is the country I want to start in because it's the highest league in the world. But Valencia is on one of the two teams I will play with. I'll have to decide. I have some good players like Gedesh. Their striker is a good one. They have Was, who I think is an underrated player. I saw him play when they played against Lille. He can play on every position, right defender, right wing, central. They have Marco Soler, they have Gaia. Some really good players. So Valencia is on the list. The other team on my list is AC Milan. Why do I want to play with AC Milan? They're also the same story like Valencia, financial problems. Still is one of the two teams with the most Champions League wins in the world with Real Madrid. They had good times, but it's also a little bit gone in recent years. And what I want to do with AC Milan is I want to implement their old tactics that they had before, the 4-4-2 diamond. In the times they were with Ancelotti, with Kaká, with a lot of famous players, they played 4-4-2 with the diamond in midfield. You can see it here. I will put sound off. So this is not really the diamond, but is going to there. Let's move a little bit forward. So they tried a lot of strategies, but in the end they ended up with the 4-4-2 diamond, and they got a lot of success. Kaká, Shevchenko, you all know them. So they had a really great team. So I want to implement the 4-4-2 diamond with AC Milan. So let's see where that team is. If it's still, I think here. So everybody knows these players. There was the 4-4-2 of AC Milan. So here they are: Dida in goal, Maldini, Nesta, Stam, Cafu, Pirlo, Gattuso, Sidorf, Kaká, Crespo, and Shevchenko. That was their most successful strategy, and I think they have the players of it. I played on FIFA a little bit with Milan, and I checked it out. It works. But they have the players of it. If it works in game, we will have to see. So it will be or Milan or Valencia. We will decide that next week. For today, I will end my stream here. Thanks everybody for watching. We're 1 hour in. I will do a podcast like this. It's not really a podcast. It's a talking stream. Talking about Football Manager. I will try to do that a lot. Weekly probably. Just talk about the game. Hope more Football Manager players come into my streams and talk about their game. I want to see their performance. I want to see how they do. I want to see their strategies. Let's see if that works out. And then I will do almost every day gameplay of my career in Football Manager. Because the game is such a good game. And to add, on my channel, I will also still do the other streams. Of course, when Football Manager comes out, they will be less. I'm testing out now everything with streaming every day, almost some games, and test out how the settings are, how everything is. And this afternoon, I will play some Battlefield, so if somebody wants to join me, let me know. And I see you in, 2 hours? In 2 hours. I see you in 2 hours for some Battlefield. Battlefield 1, we can play it on xCloud, we can play it on PC. Doesn't matter. GeForce Now, all good for me. So see you in 2 hours. Thanks for being here, Untrix and Lee, Cloud Gaming Dad, for being in chat. Congratulations with your channel, Cloud Gaming Dad. It's going very good. I really love to see that. And I hope to see you guys soon back. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.